제가 제일 좋아하는 영웅은 빛나래예요. 빛나래가 약간 대사를 보면은 약간 목소리는 되게 귀여운데 캐릭터가 말하는 걸 보면은 살인을 되게 좋아하는 그런 사이코패스거든요. 근데 저도 사실 게임 내에서는 상대방을 죽이는 걸 좋아해요. 근데 그럼에도 불구하고 서포터를 하고 있는 이유는 그 죽이는 거를 방해했을 때 약간 희열이 느껴지거든요. 그런 느낌에서 사이코패스 같은 점이 저랑 좀 닮은 것 같아요. 붓을 이번에 처음 잡아보는 거라서 잘 그리지 못할 것 같은데 그래도 좀 최대한 특징을 살려서 그려보도록 할게요. 지금부터 제가 그릴 빛나래는요, 이모티콘을 보면요 약간 좀 우스꽝스럽게 웃고 있는 빛나래가 있어요. 이모티콘 중에 저는 지금부터 혀를 내밀고 우스꽝스럽게 웃고 있는 빛나래를 그리려고 해요. 지금 생각보다 잘 그린 것 같아갖고 만족스러워하고 있어요.
I can't decide if I'm more scared of Brightwing in-game or the painting that we just saw from Merryday, because that was terrifying in itself. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the HGC Mid-Season Brawl, as we're about to get into MVP Black going up against Nomia, and I am joined by the Analysis Concave. We're going back to that now. By Kaldor, we have J-Hat, and we do have Fan returning.
I was looking forward to being on the council.
Sorry, the council disbanded about 5 minutes ago when Dread actually just died.
Feels bad, man.
Sorry about that. The Analysis Concave still got some reputation. It's fine. It's fine. So we have MVP going up against Nomia. Let's start things off just kind of talking about how Nomia has kind of presented themselves here in this tournament so far. I think they've already turned some heads. They're already looking, you know, very, very good considering that they are from one of the smaller regions, and they're looking for more. Admittedly, it's quite a challenge ahead of them.
It's definitely a huge challenge going up against the Koreans, but overall, as at the Western Clash already, the Australians are impressing. They're impressing quite a bit. They have this, I don't know, it's a mix between a no-care attitude. We know we are the underdogs, but at the same time, when it really matters, they are on point. They've shown us Diva as well, so you can't argue with that. They just look solid. They actually look really solid, and I think from the lesser regions, them and the Taiwanese players, they look the best right now.
Their confidence and calmness, I think, is surprising to me. You got to wonder if they're a little bit more refined. Do we talk about them a little bit differently? You talked about they have a huge test here in MVP Black, and it's kind of like, do you just take that calmness and just kind of roll the dice and go and see what you can make of it? I mean, I almost said roll 20, but they were in the last series.
Well, I mean, that's a great point to make, is that MVP Black has had their blips in Roll20, of course, and they have been caught off guard by things. So they've not looked the indestructible MVP Black that we've known of the past. There is definitely a little bit of weakness there that potentially Nomia could exploit, Fan.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from their performance yesterday and L5's performance yesterday, obviously L5 was against the Red. I mean, they had an easier matchup, you could say, but I thought MVP was like a little bit under L5 looking at yesterday, but looking at today, I feel like just all bets are off for the Korean teams. You know, Nomia had to have seen what Red Canids did. They almost took down L5, and you know, you have to imagine that Nomia can maybe do the same if they play really well.
Well, let's focus on them. Of course, Nomia had a great start to the group stage, and then from that point on, it got a little bit more rough for them, but they definitely have their own style and their own standouts, Kaldor.
Yeah, they definitely do, and they are also not afraid to just show something new that they are comfortable with, as we said before. And the calmness in those fights is really impressive. Fat94, definitely one of the key players, if not the key player. Saw the Zeratul play as well, up to an extent where it got first banned in drafts after that, just because people respected it so much and said, okay, we don't want this guy to really get his momentum going for the team.
I think for them, they just need to go have a little bit of fun with what they're doing, but play to their strengths. I mean, I think that for this team, as he said, with Fat94 over there, just does so well to give them that flexibility of let's just play some weird heroes and play our strengths around it, and let's see what happens. I think going up against the tough tests like this, I'm cool if they go that route.
Right.
I mean, expectations aren't very high. Competitive, yes, but win, we'll see.
What stands out for you, Fan, about Nomia?
I mean, I gotta say, it's gotta be that Diva pick. They seem so practiced with it. Fat94 was talking about how much he loved the hero, and I don't think we saw it when they played against Fnatic at all. So looking for them to kind of, if not the Diva, at least pick the heroes that they're comfortable on and then just play off of that. I think that's their best chance.
All right, well, let's focus. Sorry, Caldor, for a moment. Let's focus now back onto MVP Black, of course, as they are a previous world champion. Hello, Sake. What's happening?
I don't know what he's saying, but he knows he's on camera, that's for sure.
He's excited, he's hyped, he's getting the hype going, Caldor. I think we should too. And there is Meriday. Quiet, calm, collected.
What? No, he said he shares personality traits with Brightwing.
He did say that.
He shares that psychopath trait.
I know you're a big fan of Brightwing, Caldor.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of Brightwing. This is the one point where Gillian and I constantly argue. Yeah. I hate that thing.
I remember one time watching Caldor cast, and he did a Brightwing impersonation. If I ever get him to do it again, I will lose my mind.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a very long ago.
Yeah, it was indeed. But of course, they have people like Tist in the team here that have incorporated themselves in very, very well. And as much as you say, L5 not looking the most amazing right now, this is the Korean team that we currently look to try and take one of the big top spots, right?
One of the big things when we are looking also at the loss that they had against Roll20 is, if you look at group stages, the teams that are supposed to do well in a tournament and potentially win the tournament always try to hide stuff. And then you find yourself in this weird back and forth where you have to decide, how much do I hide?
Yeah.
Against who can I hide it, and what kind of expectations do I go into this? And it could well be that MVP Black went into the game and said, okay, they are not really a threat to us, completely underestimated the opponent, didn't properly scout, and then gave Roll20 exactly the draft that they needed. They showed up very differently in the second match they had, and I would expect that to be the MVP Black that we're seeing today.
And there's the other flip side of it, where you have teams like Fnatic and E-Star pulling out a Samuro, pulling out a Valera, or, you know, there's so many mind games that go into this group stage, which is a fantastic format, and then into the playoffs.
Shrimpy talked about it. He said earlier that he expects all the teams that show up here, especially the Koreans, to be much stronger later on when we're going out of the group stage to Jean-Chapin.
I hypothesized yesterday, because MVP Black, we saw Tist on Anubarak, who up until this week had not been playing Anubarak, and maybe it's something you try out when you have the opportunity.
I could hear
I
a very familiar voice there for a moment, but indeed, here we go into game number 1, into the draft. MVP Black going up against Nomia. Genji already banned, Dahaka already banned. Fan, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, pretty common bans here. So, Cursed Hollow, this is the map where Nomia put out that Diva pick last time, and they impressed with it, hoping they go for the comfort picks. Not right now, perhaps, but, you know, somewhere down the line.
It's one of the things that Fan94 pointed out. He said that he feels on Cursed Hollow, Diva is extremely strong because there are so many choke points and small corridors where you can really zone out an opponent's team with a good detonation. So that could definitely be the map where they use Diva again.
Jay, how thoughts?
I expect some type of Tyrael picks here early on. MVP Black loves to run Tyrael. This is a great battleground for it, and you might not necessarily want to give up the Tyrael Uther to Nomia. You know, you got to start looking at heroes with Genji being off the board. Where does Greymane lie on this? It's just amazing how much the meta has shifted in just a few weeks, especially coming here. Just Anubarak is available, but again, is MVP Black, do they want to run it? Are they comfortable running it? And those are the questions that I have when I think about MVP Black.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Tyrael, the invulnerability. One thing I noticed was Tyrael and Uther, their pick rates are going up. Their pick priority is going up as well. Like, in the global tournaments, it seems just being invulnerable for 3 seconds, it's pretty good.
Tournaments also always create their own meta. We've seen this at every single international event that we had so far, that through the tournament you see certain picks and bans really crystallize. And we have once again the Anubarak very early on in the draft now as well. Those engages with Akun just being absolutely fantastic, especially when you're trying to dive into the opponent's comp. But it opens up something for Nomia that we have not seen from them yet. They go for double support with a Grey main this time.
Yeah, Grey main Tassadar. I feel like this is one of the compositions that they're probably pretty comfortable in running, and I feel like they can still run the Diva with this composition. So still hoping for it in the 4-5. You see MVP Black covering the Varian or the Muradin, two very good bans. One more thing I wanted to say about this draft is you see MVP Black running the Anubarak Malfurion, and that's like the favorite composition of Dignitas as well as some of the EU NA teams. So once again, we see the Korean teams adapting to the EU NA meta here.
I also have to correct myself here. Nomia actually played a comp very similar to this already with the Grey main back then with the Rhaegar, and that was actually on Cursed Hollow. They lost the match. That was when they had the Zeratul available.
Right.
And I think that's always going to be a question of, will that be one of the later picks? MVP Black is perfectly capable of running that, but you start to run into the fact that you're going into an Uther, Grey main, Tassadar, not exactly heroes you can blow up, and is your combo going to be off that? You do have the Twilight Dream, you do have an Anubarak who can kind of combo in, but you know there's a lot more in play, obviously, with 3 more picks on the back end. So Nomia, what do they want to deny from MVP Black is the big question.
Yeah, there's a lot of things they can go for. The Tyrael is still up, very good on this map for Holy Ground and the invulnerability. They could go with like a Mage Deny or even a melee assassin like Zeratul.
It feels more and more that Nomia is just respecting the mechanical skills on the side of MVP Black. You get rid of the Genji first, you want to make sure that the Zeratul isn't there. Both of them melee assassins that really thrive on jumping into backline, getting those kills and hunting the opponent down. So Nomia just trying to put them into some kind of comp where the individual does not have the same impact.
Yeah, and I actually find that Zeratul ban a little bit interesting. I think Uther Grey main is actually 2 heroes that are pretty well positioned to deal with the Zeratul. The Uther is not scared of a Zeratul whatsoever, and the Grey main is not scared either, especially not when he has the Divine Shield behind him. On top of that, you have the Tassadar with the Vision to kind of counter the Zeratul. So looks like, as you said, Kaldor, they're very highly respecting that mechanical skill because I feel like in draft, they kind of got that covered.
Abathur coming in. Jay, how? What else are we thinking?
Well, the Abathur definitely throws me off just a little bit because I wonder what they're going to pair behind it. And
That's
it just, without the Grey main, without the Genji, you got to start looking at prime Abathur targets.
Yep.
Tracer comes to mind for me when I think about MVP Black. It's been a while, but on this battleground, I think Tracer does really well because of the amount of terrain that she can work around and the way that she can manipulate her angles. But again, against this composition, that might have been why the Varian ban is there. Varian is a point click, and then you have your taunt post 10. It also works really good against tanks, but that could be an opening if they choose to go that route.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to like paint the story for this draft here. So we opened up with an Uther, very strong at team fighting, and MVP Black goes Anubarak Malfurion, which kind of implies like they're gonna be like, yeah, we'll match you in your team fighting, right? And then Nomia goes with the Grey main Tassadar, very, very strong in team fighting. Both teams are like gearing up for this team fight, and MVP Black completely goes the other way now. They take both the available globals away. The Haka's already banned, so I feel like MVP Black is really looking to play the macro game with their 3-4 picks.
Stitches gets picked up, and Tyrael. Kind of expecting a Tyrael to come in there, but a Stitches?
I have to say I like the Stitches on the side of Nomia. You have to look at it from their point of view. They are the underdog. They are the ones who have to make something happen. They have to shake it up. And one of the best heroes to shake things up is Stitches. We've seen that from Dignitas time and time again. And if you get a decent hook in, you have a Grey main there, the stun follow-up from Uther, and can just blow that target to pieces, that would be the perfect opening into any kind of fight, being it around a tribute, being it around a boss. So I like that they draft something a little bit different that caters more towards their underdog role that they have in this match.
The other thing for me is that with Stitches and Tyrael both having... Stitches can't have the dampened magic at level 1. Tyrael has the built-in spell armor. Is that sometimes we see MVP like fall back onto mage-style heroes. Instead, they just go Chen.
Okay, that just got ugly.
This reminds me last year Denial. Okay, Glaurung was on that team, and one of the things that they would do is just Glaurung go in, we're going to throw a hat on you with Abathur, do work. That was, I'm not saying that they're trying to mirror that, but it is an option. Chen is a very dive-heavy hero. If you want to just boost that up, that's one hero that you can get to the backline safely.
Yeah, I was actually going to say I wanted their last pick to be something that's really hard to kill. I personally was thinking something like a Li Ming or a Tracer.
Right.
But with the Chen, if you go evasion at level 1, like what damages you from Nomia's team? There's really nothing.
Yeah.
They have no magic damage, so...
I didn't think about him either, but now that we see him on the board here, Chen in your backline is a nightmare. Chen with an Abathur is just frustrating. So that pick is pretty cool.
It makes me think where Stitches is going to go. Do you yank a tank? Do you herd a bird? Do you free a tree? I'm not really sure where he's going with these hooks anymore. But regardless, I need predictions from you. Going to start off with Kaldor over at the end.
I mean, I have to go. I love Australia, don't get me wrong, but MVP Black is going to take this one.
All right.
100% MVP Black for me. I just don't see how they can possibly lose this.
Fan?
Not as sure as that. I think the Chen is either going to be really good or really bad, and I'm not sure which one it is. I'm leaning towards the really good, though, so I'm going to have to go with MVP Black.
All right, let's see what the chat thinks as well. It's MVP Black across the board here, and then at home...
Oh, my. I think we've got some Nomia fans.
We do have Nomia fans, by the looks of things.
There's a lot of people that spend a year working traveling in Australia. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, of course, indeed, Australia is the home to some of the deadliest animals on the planet, but will Nomia have trouble with a panda being imported? We'll find out in just a few moments as we head over to the commentary team.
Thank you very much, guys. And yes, there is no more deadly a wild animal than a Nomia, who is looking to win some more points. We're heading into game. I am Tetra. I'm joined by Grubby. And we have spawning on the left-hand side. It is going to be MVP Black with Meriday on Malfurion, Tust on Anubarak, Kyoja on Abathur, Sake on Falstad, and Reset on the Chen.
As the Johnny Depp debacle showed us, it's not easy to import wild animals into Australia. Nomia has something to say about that. Here on the right in the red, Vanilla, Uther, Arcaner on Greymane, John on Tassadar, Robodoba on Stitches, and Fat94 on Tyrael. And I'm loving these drafts from both sides, Stitcher.
As am I. Will the Border Patrol team of Nomia be able to deal with this? We will see.
Did Reset bring his paperwork? Has MVP Black observed Australian law? Let's see. Nomia.
Right now, they're attempting to get across, trying to break the borderline by
Let us in, let us in.
We won't damage your ecosystem too much, but for now, already doing a lot of damage to that tower, setting up for a little XP boost. In the mid lane, a little bit interesting. It's usually top or bot, but this is completely fine when you have a team that is as safe as MVPs. Even the hook, not going to be able to set them up for anything.
Well, it's a 2 out of 2 on the hook so far by Robodoba. Very nice start. Oh, okay. Falstad Sake has gone for Wingman. Bonus damage on his static charge every time he hits that on that Thunder Rod. Lightning Rod, and he can bribe Merc camps with that. Now, it's not too hard to get your own Merc camps on the map, so I'm assuming that maybe he wants to steal the opponent's Mercs with it.
So we actually see the first blood going down on 2 Stitches. It was very nearly Chen, but that prediction from Fan, the elusive brawler, making Chen ridiculously hard to kill. He was able to escape with a little bit of health left. So Stitches becomes the first kill, and MVP continue to push in the mid lane, already taking down the wall towers and the fountain. Sake going top. Tass, are you able to get out of there? He will have dimensional shift.
Well, I'll say, Tetcher, this is highly unusual. Having the mid fountain down by 1 minute and 30 seconds. MVP Black turning up the heat. Now on John, no dimensional shift. The body blocks are good.
The lightning rod and the auto attacks getting the finishing blow there. Sake turning up the heat, and the great gank by Tist.
Nomia has yet to find their stride in this game. Whenever you lose that dimensional shift, it's a 20-second cooldown. You gotta stay a bit further back. You gotta respect that aggression and wait till that cooldown is back. And Nomia, they paid the price for now. But not all is over. There will still be on equal talents by the time the tribute starts, and they can try to leverage whatever happens there.
Robodoba moving in, but there's not a huge amount of damage to be able to take down this Chen. He's able to brew up and make his way back to his towers. In fact, he doesn't even go there. He does not care at all. Top lane, though, taking some harassment, and with the tribute spawning up there, looking a little bit rough for Nomia, with 2 heroes only just making their way up to mid lane.
Yeah, this is quite incredible. 4 towers down and 2 takedowns already. MVP Black is off to a great start. They're going to get the tribute. And they've taken down the wall in the middle and the top lane. And now they can choose. Invade Bruiser Camp, go for bottom. And Tist, he's going to check this out.
He will scout it. Can they do anything about it? A noob moving in. And that looks like it might be enough just to zone them out. But Nomia moving back. Looks like they still might want to take this. John sees Sake as well. No, they know there are 3 heroes here. And with John backing up, looks like this camp will just be abandoned. They don't want to take the risk.
Oh, yeah. That was a very good rotation by Tassadar to come here, but they know how long it might take. Even though they are as 4 against 3, the thing is, you've got Abathur on your team, and Abathur, he's going to soak a little bit of that top wave, a little bit of that mid wave, and when he needs to, he'll join the fight for a 3.5 versus 4. So Nomia knows that nothing that takes long is really in their favor. Time is very much on the side of MVP Black with that global soak by Abathur, who's running a really interesting build, by the way. Ballisto Spores at 4, able to place his nest anywhere on the map, and then Needle Spine at 7.
Still slightly symbioting, though, and to be fair, the only real auto-attack style hero on his team would be Falstad, who has not come for Season Marksman, so the extra attack speed not missing out on a huge amount here.
All right, finally this camp by Nomia. Yeah. 2 tributes already to the side of MVP Black. And the thing is, from the next 3 tributes, which threaten a curse for MVP Black, at some point Black will get level 10. So Nomia needs to get some advantage soon, or they will get cursed.
He's body blocked and he is killed.
His own giant blocked him, in addition to the tank blocks by MVP Black. Just wonderful display of mechanical skill here by Black, and they get another kill.
So another interesting talent here for Chen, going with Bolden the Flavor as and the Deadly Strike as opposed to the Brewmaster's Balance that we see in almost every game we've ever seen Chen to do, in fact.
Yeah, Chen is being played here as a kind of surrogate Illidan. Anytime you want Illidan, but you fear that he might not have enough support, you get Chen instead. He's not quite as mobile, he doesn't do quite as much burst damage as Illidan, but he's far more survivable. And they recognize that there are very few things to interrupt the Chen from drinking.
And this will once again explain the lack of the adrenal overload. If Abathur sits on Chen, there's no way he's going to die. Still gets the same sustain, and Abathur's still able to do his damage. Chen, though, he's not going to be auto-attacking. He's just sitting there drinking his brew.
Yeah, he will get the damage from his kicks, and then he'll just wait a bit while Abathur uses him as a mobile gun turret. Very cool play by MVP Black.
Right now, Tass attempts to take it. Nomia with the positioning this time. They have everyone down here, but in the meantime, Falstad pushing and soaking mid lane. We have Abathur body soaking at the top lane. Falstad, though, could be in danger, making it over the wall. Stitch is moving in. Hook too far away to even make an attempt. Instead, they just clear it up. Tassadar, though, killed off in the bot lane, trying to defend that fort, while Abathur continuing to push top.
MVP Black is all over the place. And Nomia is having trouble to rotate around the map and do anything relevant. Falstad just flew into the mid here. He uses Gust.
He turns it round the heel. Helping hand. Nicely done, Robodoba.
All right, Nomia. They're going to have to get cursed. And the problem is, when you're against Abathur, there's no point ever where actually curse is more valuable than when one of the teams has Abathur or Vikings. They don't have level 10. Nomia, what can they do? They're up against the wall. They're in the ropes. And the knockout is hovering over them.
Nilla with the stun to get himself to safety. Nicely done. Tyrael moving in to at least delay this tribute for a bit, but he's actually not moving in anymore. They're just going to let this go, and Meriday will take this. Nomia getting cursed.
Oh my, there's now no defender's advantage. All the minions are at 1 HP. The forts will no longer fire. Uther gets taken out. Cocoon on Stitches.
Can't helping hand if you're the one who's getting focused. Earthstorm Fire, making it even harder to take down not Meriday here, take down Reset. The
Stuck
body
in a traffic jam. It seems like he was almost at home. This route normally only takes about a minute, but Stitches was there for an hour. And now MVP Black moving in on the keep. They've got 2 takedowns already, and they're going to go for the jugular.
He tunnels, the judgment attempted, but the ultimate evolution, they're flying up to try and get him. Double false stand, gank onto Fat94. He's trying to flee, Meriday moving in, Twilight Dream is dropped, but Vanilla with the healing, able to keep Fat94 alive, and Nomia all over the place, attempting to pick up little kills here and there and try and remove some of this curse value, but they can't get anyone. But now Sucker, there's the gust onto Arcaner, reset moving in for the slow.
Now Arcaner is not going to get helping hand.
Yeah, he was not in the position for it this time. Good attempt by Robodoba, and good attempts in general by Nomia, but the reactions from MVP are too quick.
Wingman now to steal the Siege Giant, and MVP Black has the roam of the land. They are king of this kingdom, and they're starting to claim what is theirs. To the victor go the spoils, and here they are taking that first boss, which represents either a kill on the keep or a second boss, the next tribute, and 2 walls down bottom and top keep. Black has all the options right now, and Nomia is just trying to clear up top, center, and bottom, try to get a bit of vision and try to get back a grip on the map. They have not yet been able to execute their composition. Judgment, Archon, Divine Storm, Putrid Ba, very strong tools, but they've been pulled apart by MVP Black.
Yeah, they can get someone when they're all together. It could certainly work, but they haven't yet had the opportunity. And MVP still a talent ahead, while Nomia only just reaching level 12, not even close to that level 13.
Nomia are getting in position to defend the bottom boss. At some point, you can no longer fight out of a position of comfort. You need to be outside of your comfort zone. That includes fighting a talent down. This is a nice start. Hook on Falstad, but he barrel rolls away. There was no follow-up.
Shield on Arcaner, keeping him alive. He's able to roll out. There's the Divine Storm.
This is not bad, Nomia.
There's the cleanse onto Saka, trying to get something. Reset has managed to find Robodoba. He is now the target. Can anyone do anything to defend him? It looks like he's just good defending himself with that tankiness. Silence onto Tyrion. He attempted to make the play, but the gust isolates him and he gets punished.
Still very nice fight by Nomia. They've only lost Tyrael so far. Evolution is gone. They're still down a talent. Hook is coming up again in 3, 2, maybe 1. Is there going to be a hook?
Robodoba is low and Reset is in position. He's making them nervous, and that's enough to force them to back out.
Yeah, now Nomia knew that was still not a hook engagement. The tower was out of ammunition, the keep was gone, they're down a talent, and Tyrael was still dead. All right.
They're just slightly pulling back. Even with the body soak, he realizes, yeah, there's quite a few bruises here. I should move. So he's pulling back to a safe position. Hook, a little bit too late. Saka already with the barrel roll.
MVP Black putting on a clinic. Looking very good today against Nomia here.
Just in position for the sneaky gank.
It's a trap, and it's in a nice position as well. It's not exactly where you would expect it.
Second they move away, they start to come in. Always how it is, but this does mean that Nomia are completely aware this is happening, and they're about to hit level 13. They're going to be a talent behind no matter what in this situation. But better 1 talent behind than 2, so they're beginning to at least put some pressure on, try to drive back MVP.
Now note how Arcaner is putting damage on this. This shows basically Nomia is making a last stand. This is their last ditch effort. They're looking to get something done here. Mid-keep has gone down.
Doubling in. Double Falstad coming in. He's in position to Gust. Judgment used onto the backline. Ice Block delaying it though. The Cocoon is popped. Boss still alive. Robodoba already taken down though. Gust is used. Twilight onto Uther, who's able to move back to safety though. But MVP will take the boss.
Very nice move. The ice block on Meriday buying just enough time for him to gently rotate onto the boss point.
Oh, he's alive.
What was that?
He's alive. No move. Arcaner, he's able to move back. He stays alive, but Vanilla focused down, and Reset finally catches up. It is a massacre. Tyrael, the only survivor. Fat94 trying to escape. Tist tries to predict it, but Fat waiting as long as he can. They want him speed boost, lightning rod. Falstad so fast.
That's a wingman lightning rod. A wingman lightning rod, not just any.
a Wingman Lightning Rod with the Airy Gusts level 16, and that's going to be everyone dead. Robodoba is already back because we're actually quite early in the game. The spawn timers are super low. Here's the last attempt from Nomia as the core is down to 50%. In comes Test as they turn it around the full route from Malfurion, and this looks like it might be it.
Get one kill, Nomia! Just one kill! Yes!
Down he goes, but the turnaround is too real here, and that's going to be GG. And MVP Black will take game number 1.
Little victories where you can. Nomia has got a takedown right before the end, and I'm sure MVP Black is kicking themselves in the shins for that one. They ruined the perfect game, but
if it bleeds, they can kill it.
Yeah, very encouraging fact for the next game. Of course, can be a tough loss depending on how you see it as Nomia, but MVP Black just played amazingly. They controlled the game from beginning to end, and that's the kind of game we expect from a world-class team.
Yeah, the double Falstad ganks, very satisfying to watch, where you see just 2 Falstads flying onto your team. Always scary to see, but MVP Black showing why they should still be feared. Nomia have a mountain to climb. Let's hear about this last game, though, from our analyst Concave.
Thank you very much, guys. MVP, the Merciless here in game number 1, going up against Nomia and showing that they really didn't have much mercy at all for that. Double Falstads flying in, looking for ganks, etc., etc.
Got a bit closer towards the end when Meriday all of a sudden decided to feed.
True. Oh, yeah.
It was actually kind of funny because you could hear how Nomia immediately was super happy that they got the kill. They were celebrating it like they won the game. And on the other side, you saw MVP Black, and Meriday was not happy. It's just like, oh God, I'm the only one dying here.
Double Falstads across the sky.
That's true. All the way. Obviously, though, it's good to see that Nomia are in good spirits while that game is going on there. It is difficult to go up against an MVP Black, especially when they bring out an interesting composition.
Interesting, to say the least. I mean, the Chen it was a terror, right? How do you kill the Chen diving that back line? I think they had a lot of trouble dealing with that type of pressure, and yeah, it worked out pretty much as we expected. I mean, the good thing is, like Nomia, I mean, they were still defending to the very end. They always believe that they have a chance no matter what. It's Heroes of Storm, but MVP Black did what we expected them to do in game 1.
Never give up, never surrender. Fan, I believe you do have a highlight to show us.
Yeah, I do. And this is the boss fight, I believe. So you see, this is Nomia's last chance to win the game. If we could just pause right here. So even though you don't want to engage a talent tier down, this is the sort of extreme where you're 3.5 levels behind. You do want to engage a talent tier down because it's your last chance to win. They're forcing MVP Black to fight them here. And what you're going to see in a second is you're going to see Arcaner here, and you're going to see the Tyrael. Both of them are going to be trying to kill one of the most vulnerable targets on MVP Black in Meriday here. And at the same time, MVP Black is going to focus in on the Stitches. So there's dual focus on both teams here. Both of them decide to pick their targets and go in with it. So slowing this down, keep on playing. All right, so right here, we see the engage is happening for MVP Black on the Stitches, and we can keep rolling the clip. At the same time, the counter engage is happening onto the Malfurion. And here's the problem with the Nomia composition, you know. They were already a talent tier down by the time they hit Heroics approximately. Yeah. And ever since then, they just have no damage. The Stitches, the tanky tank died before the Malfurion did. Nomia just had no damage. The only damage they had was the Greyman, and it was not enough to kill anyone. That's why we didn't see any kills at all there until the very end. You know, MVP Black with the globals, they got the level lead, they got picks, and ever since then, Nomia, no damage, no kills, couldn't really do anything.
I like, whilst you're highlighting this fight as well, the fact that just in case, just by chance that fight went awry, Saki is flying in behind where the boss pit is, just in case he would need to gust, etc., with the barrel roll and then being able to steal it. So still calculated against a team like Nomi here.
Yeah, it was really well done. Also, from a timing perspective, it was great. They have the disengage that they can use if they need to move away from the fight, but they buy the time for Falstad in the mid lane to get the keep. So no matter what happens there, it's a win for them.
All right, so we're going to be moving on to game number 2 in a moment's time here. We're going to be on Tomb of the Spider Queen for our second